Okay, hey everybody, welcome to our jazz live stream for today, Friday, April 10th. Very excited to be here. We have yet again our special guest here with us. We're going to introduce in just a second. What I want to do right now is have you guys make sure you download the sheet music that you need for today's class. Of course, we're going to be going to Dr. Selfridge music.com, and the link is down below in the description of the video, but if you need to just type it in yourself, you can go to drselfridgemusic.com. And one little update I have here this week is I actually updated my website, so you can click right on the homepage to whatever live stream class we are in. And so we're in live stream jazz. I want you to click on that, and here is all of the music. Oh, let me show you. Here is all of the music that we're going to be playing today. We have a new song, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to review some of our old material from previous weeks. We're going to do some new jazz concepts. Going to have you playing along. What I'd like to do right now is I would like to say hello to our one and only guest today. Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Anytime. It's always a pleasure. You're there with your Barry sax. You're ready to rock?
Oh, point to me.
Cool. And as always, we also have in our chat room, we have Dennis on the line. And Dennis, I want to make sure I get you unmuted. Let's say hi to Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. So Dennis will be watching in the chat for your questions. So as we go along, ask jazz questions. We can do some school shout outs if you're watching from any particular school. If your teacher asked you to be here, that's great. Or if you're a teacher, make sure you check in and we'll get a shout out to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go right to our root blues. So what I want you guys to do is go to our sheet music here. We're going to warm up on a little root blues right here. And I'll pull up, let's see, I'm going to put the E-flat instruments music up on the screen. Okay. And we're going to play this tune. Let's do a little review. It's a little warm up, all that stuff. Okay. So let's go ahead and just play it from the beginning. We're going to try it once without the backing track, and then we're going to try it once with the backing track, and then, yeah, let's do it once without the backing track. Okay, everybody at home? And a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, play. 2, 3. 2, 3, and 2, 3. 2, 3. So make sure when you see those accents, we have a couple of notes that have accents on them. We want to put a little extra on that note. What you do for an accent is you don't necessarily tongue it harder. You give a little extra oomph with your air. Okay? So let's make sure we do that. We're going to put on our play along track, and we're going to play Root Blues. And what we're going to do is we're going to play it once. Then what I want to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to play these solo ideas at the bottom. And I want you to echo me, and you can either echo what I play, or you can play your own thing, okay? So we're going to go through the melody once, up here. Then I'm going to skip down to solo ideas, and I'm going to play each one, and you're going to echo back either the same thing I played or something new. And then we'll probably do that a little bit more. Well, I'll just make up my own part, and you can do your own 2-measure phrase. We're just going to go back and forth a little bit, okay? Here we go, melody, and we'll do some back and forth improv on Root Blues, everybody. 2, 1, 2, 3, play. turn. Your turn. My turn. Now I'm going to start improvising. Let's go around one more time. Last one for each of us. All right. Very cool. So, what we were doing there, everybody, is something called trading. And Danny, I'm going to bring you in.
Okay.
All right. We're going to, let's see here. See how I can get you to be full screen.
Do you need me to play my track?
We won't need a track just right away. Okay, so we're gonna bring in Denny, and let's see, how do I just got to figure out how to get the screen to go the right way. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. All right. Now we got. All right. So what me and Denny are going to do, we're going to do a little back and forth trading. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, folks, is this idea of trading. And if you take a look right here, you ever hear musicians talk about trading fours, right? So there's all kinds of ways that musicians can trade back and forth. One of the most common ways is to trade fours, which means every musician in the ensemble takes turns doing a shorter solo than you would normally do. And you can do it in groups of fours. That's what trading fours means. You can do it in groups of eights, trading eights. You can even do it in trading twos, 2 bars each. So what me and Denny are going to try right now is we're going to go here and let's get you. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Now you're full size. Okay. So, Danny, I thought we could just show the kids one of the things about trading that I always talk about is how, what should people play when they're trading back and forth with another musician? And what I usually say, and what's up here on the screen, is that you're trying to have a conversation, right? So what kind of things could you do to try to have a conversation with someone you're trading with?
Well, when people do fours, depending on what the situation is and how people play, because you may hear people play fours where they actually sound like a conversation, and where someone plays something and then the other person kind of plays something off of what the previous person played. Like I'll play something and then Mr. Selfridge will play something and he may play something that I played but change it a little bit. And then I'll grab something that he's changed and I'll alter that a little bit. So what we do is we listen to each other and we try and connect with something that somebody played. We'll make our own variation of it. So that's one way. And there's other times when you'll hear people solo back and forth where they're not doing that, where they're just playing whatever they want.
Right.
And then there's others, a situation where they try and top each other. In other words, someone will play something fast, and then somebody else will play something even faster.
Right.
And then the next guy plays something even faster than that. And then one guy will play a high note, the next guy plays a higher note. So when you're doing fours, it can actually become whatever you want it to become.
Okay.
But one of the really, really cool ways of really making it happen and be really interesting is when you get a previous idea and try and work it, because that's kind of fun. That keeps everybody sort of together.
Yeah, like a theme.
Agreement, and that's a conversation. The conversation is me reacting off of somebody. But we've all been in situations with a lot of people where everybody's talking together, but there's no conversation going on.
Right.
You know, my whole family growing up was like that. Everybody talked at once, but to have a real conversation is really pretty cool. So to do that, you have to really listen, and you have to be able to react quick. So you have to be in it and own it to be able to trade like that. To just do whatever you want is fun too, but it doesn't really matter what the person plays. So you kind of, when you solo and you're playing with other people, when you do fours, you can tell right away, is this going to be a thing where we listen to each other and build it? Or is this going to be a thing where we're just kind of have fun and it's going to be sort of free style? So nothing's bad or good. It's just there's different types and different. If I told you there's one way to do it, you're going to be able to find 10 other examples that aren't like that.
Could we try a little bit of that? So I think it'd be fun. Like you and I can go back and forth, and we won't even use any background track. We'll just go about that same tempo.
So Steve, when they hear it, there's going to be a lag, right?
There's going to be. I mean, there'll be a little. So we're basically playing 4-bar phrases at each other with maybe a slight.
You got it.
Yeah. So
okay.
Let's see. Maybe I'll go first. And so what we're going to do, everybody at home, is
he always has to go first.
Me and Denny are going to go back and forth, and we're going to trade fours on the chord progression that we just played on the 12-bar blues, on Root Blues. We'll go back and forth for maybe 2 choruses or something like that. And then I'm going to have you guys at home do a little trading fours with me. Okay? Yeah. So here we go. So I'll start. We'll do about the same tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Hey, all right. Good job. Hey, everybody, give what's that?
That was a conversation, man.
That was a total conversation. Everybody give Denny a round of applause. Good job. All right. And remember, if you have any questions in the chat, we're gonna do some questions for Denny in the chat. But right after we do this next activity, guys, I'm gonna go to Dennis, not Denny, but Dennis, who's in our chat room. And Dennis will give me if we have any shout outs for anybody who's watching, let us know what school you go to or anything like that, or maybe where you're watching from. We'll do some shout outs, and we'll do some question or two for Denny about saxophone or jazz. So for right now, what I want to do is we're going to go back to doing some call and response. So what you're going to look at, guys, is you can look at your sheet for Root Blues. And we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to do 4 measures. You're going to do 4 measures. And let's use our backing track, okay? My turn, your turn. I will help you count the 4 measures. Here we go. My turn first. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2. My turn. Your turn. 2, 3, 4. My turn. Your turn. 2, 3. Let's go around again. 4. My turn. was playing along. I hope everybody was playing along and trying some jazz phrases. That's always fun to do. What I want to do now is we're going to go to our chat room. And Dennis, are there any questions or shout outs we need to do?
We have a few shout outs and a couple questions.
Okay.
The ones I hear are Pencrest, Carson Middle School, and Farnham Middle School.
Okay, shout out to Pencrest, Carson Middle School, and what was the last one, Dennis?
Farron.
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 All right, thank you guys for watching, and do we have any questions in the chat?
We do. One, Christopher Balk asked, can you download the backing tracks?
Good question. I have the backing tracks on my website, plug and play. You can press the play button. You know what I'll do? I will post them as download links as well, so you guys can download them so you don't have to use the website. Okay, that was an easy one.
Good. Roger Hummel, have trouble smoothly transitioning from middle C to D on sax. Do you have any tips for slurring those notes?
Okay. What I would say for that, and I'll have Denny on here too, just a basic saxophone technique question. Whenever you've got a problem going smoothly, I think the biggest problem that kids usually have going smoothly from C to D is because it's a change of a lot of fingers. So you're going from just one finger on your C, and you're going to all 6 of your fingers. And maybe sometimes what kids do, or people, I shouldn't say kids, what people do is they might accidentally tap these side keys with your palm. And so, Denny, what I always say when I get these kind of technique questions is just slow it down, right? Slow it down as slow as you need to go in order to get it correctly, and then you work on speeding it up. That's what I would say.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have any input on that, but that's basically the deal.
Oh, yeah. Well, technique is really about your fingers knowing where and when to do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
Really. And, when we teach, sometimes we can really start talking a lot, like think of this and think of that and do this and do that. But one of the best things for your technique is this.
What's that? Oh.
There you go. Metronome. Whether you have I'll put it right. Oh, I'm falling apart. Hang on. So this is why you want a metronome.
That is the classic.
Because the idea is, am I all right?
You're good.
Okay, so the idea for me to play, when I play C, I'm doing this. And when I play D, boom, I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to five fingers have to land, but not just land. And Mr. Selfridge is right. You have to watch your side keys. Don't open keys. You have to be careful. Don't open keys that you really don't want to open, because that'll mess everything up. So the idea is you set it up slow, and if I go from C to D, I'm going like this, bang. To have everything land at the same time, you need to know where that spot is that you have to hit the note. It's not just close everything, because if I don't close everything together, I can get this.
Yeah.
But to get it to be, I need to go pop.
Yeah.
Pop. So how do you do it? You go like this. I'm going to play a half note. So I'll go ba, ba, ba. So what am I doing? I'm aiming for some spot in time to make it happen. Because if you don't really know exactly how to bring it all down. I'm not thinking about my fingers so much as I'm thinking about making my notes change when this clicks. I'm going to play half notes. And all I'm thinking about is I'm going to make this thing clean. Boom. I'm going to try and just get it right on the click. There you go. Half notes. Quarter notes. aiming for a spot in time. And if I don't have that time to aim for, I can just go. I may get lucky, but the idea of using a metronome to help your technique is huge. Metronome doesn't mean fast.
Right.
Metronome has nothing to do with being fast.
Yeah.
Metronome has to do with being even and having control. Remember that. Anybody you hear play fast as clean technique only has it because they did it really slow, and your fingers need to know where to go when. That's the secret to clean technique is your fingers need to know when and where to go someplace.
Yeah.
And this helps the when.
Right.
You will know where to go where, but keep that in mind.
Denny, they have
throw this out.
they have apps for that now.
What's that?
They have apps for that now.
Yeah, I know. They have apps. Yeah. Oh, what apps for the metronome or apps for the beat?
The metronome, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. But I use this because it's just I have them all. I have 500 different metronomes around here.
Yeah.
So there you go.
We're going to take one more question, and then we're going to play our new song. And this is actually a really great question. This comes from Samalama. Samalama. Is it okay to play? I'm sorry. Where does it say? Is it okay to slur eighth notes in jazz? Denny, is it okay to slur eighth notes even when it's not indicated in a jazz piece? So if they don't. If they're not, if a chart.
Okay, sure.
Because they don't.
That's what it's supposed to be.
They don't always write in all of in jazz.
Oh no. No, here's the thing about jazz that you'll see in jazz. The way you need to make the note be shaped and attack it is never written in. What makes jazz has nothing to do with what's written. That's why you have to listen to jazz players play, because there's nothing on the written page that's going to make it happen. If I have a C major scale that goes up and down like this, that's just the scale. But if I want to play it jazzy, I can see it written just like you would see it written in a classical piece, for concert band, for marching band, for wind ensemble. It's going to be written the same. But as soon as they say jazz or they say swing, if I listen a lot to swing, then I'm going to look at this scale that's like this. And because I've listened to swing, then I bring my own interpretation to this. So it'll sound more like this. Or it can sound. So I'm not keeping it real even. I'm attacking it. And that's what we bring to jazz music. And unfortunately, none of that is written. So like 50% of what you need to do in jazz is not on the written page. Yeah. It has to come from listening to people play it. And different styles have different articulation. So that's pretty important.
Denny, that's a perfect thing. I just want to say before we're going to play our new jazz song today.
Actually, Steve, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
If you go to YouTube,
okay,
and you type in Dennis de Blasio articulation,
I'll do that right now as you're talking.
Yeah, type in Dennis de Blasio articulation, and what I do is you can talk about different people. Do I have a minute, Steve, or you want to move on?
Yeah, I'll just bring it up and you can talk about it for a minute.
Okay, so if I'm going to mention a couple players. And if you don't listen to them, then you might not know what I'm doing. But because I've listened to so many players, I'm going to try and imitate players. And this would be, let's say I'm playing on one of the blues scales that Mr. Self. There you go, jazz articulation. There you go, that's it. If I play like Lester Young, I'll sound like this. Right? Same tempo. If I play like Dexter Gordon, it may be like this. If I play like Sonny Rollins, it may be like this. If I play like James Moody, Cody, who articulates completely different, it would be like this. So I'm actually bringing my version of somebody who I've listened to who has jazz articulation. And then when I see music written, I use those people as somebody to kind of imitate. I'm not playing what they play. I'm playing the way I think they might play on a scale. So that's interesting, because when you play jazz, you just don't. This isn't jazz. If I look at music, that's not jazz. That's the tune that I have to make sound like jazz based on who I listen to. Boom. That's a
Boom.
mouthful.
Wow. Dropping some knowledge. And everybody.
Dropping some knowledge. And don't forget to use cork grease, you saxophone players. Don't break your cork.
So I encourage you to go to Denny de Blasio's YouTube channel, and he's got all kinds of videos talking about all kinds of stuff, especially articulation. So what we're going to do now, folks, is we're going to play our new song. It's called Samba Otoño. You like that title, Dan?
I'm telling you, I can't wait.
It's very fancy. All right. And so what I want you guys to do is, again, the music is at drselfridgemusic.com/livestream-jazz. Okay. And we go, it's actually the first thing on our list for today. Again, I'm playing alto sax, so I'm going to click on my E flat instruments here. And this song gets into a little bit more, there's some improvisation concepts for beginners, and there's also some more advanced stuff we can do. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to have you guys try to echo me on the melody. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to play from the beginning all the way to, well, actually, I'm just going to have you echo me each phrase. So the first phrase goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Can you play that? 1, 2, ready, go. Then we do the same rhythm in the next part. Your turn, ready, go. So that rhythm continues, all right? And then, so what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to play the whole first 8 measures. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, see if you can play the next 8 measures with me, starting here with these pickup notes. Right here. It's going to go 1, 2. Try playing that with me. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we have this middle section, which we call the bridge. It changes a little bit. Sounds like this. Rest. And you know what? I'm thinking just back to the question we had. I'm slurring a lot of these eighth notes, and they're not written as slurs. So I'm playing it.
See?
You were right. I'm interpreting it with a jazz sensibility that I've gained from listening to a lot of jazz players. Okay, so
such as
what's that?
Such as
oh boys, well, Sonny Stitt, Charlie Parker, Sonny Rollins, all the ones you mentioned, Coleman Hawkins, Johnny Hodges, Dexter Gordon, Art Pepper.
Boom. Good. There you go.
Yeah, and everyone should be able to name as many jazz players as you can. You got to get to know the folks. So here's what we're going to do, folks. I'm going to play through this whole melody, and you're going to try to play with me, okay? And we're going to use our backing track. It moves along pretty quick. So see how we do here. You're going to get click, click, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dot, 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 dot. Here we go. Samba. Ooh, it's fast. like that tune?
I like that.
And it's a little quiz for our listeners in the audience. Can you name, now you might have noticed that a lot of what I do with my tunes that I write is I take chord progressions that go to common jazz songs and I'll put a new melody on it. It's a very common thing that jazz musicians do. So if anyone can name what famous jazz song that what we just played. Wait, Denny has his hand up.
I know it.
Teacher's pet. You're going to have to wait till the other kids get it. You're going to have to wait till the other folks get a guess. What is that jazz song that I based this song off of? And I'm going to have answers in the chat. We'll see if anyone gets it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some improv on this. We have improv option 1, which is for someone who's more at a beginner level, is to use this major blues scale, but you can use all the notes, but you have to be careful of the third note, the flat third. You can only use the flat third in a way that is going between two different notes or decorating another note. So like if you notice in solo idea 1, let's try solo idea 1. Okay, so I used that flat third here, but I used it as a decoration note to the major third. I have to have a target of a different note other than the flat third. All right, so that's a great phrase that will fit over this song. Let's try playing solo idea number 1 together. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Da 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 da. I'm sorry. Da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, Denny, do you have this music on you?
Not this.
Can you see?
I don't know if you said. I could see it.
That's okay. Can you see number 2?
What's that?
Can you see the solo idea number 2 right there?
I can see part of it.
That's all of it.
I don't see this all of the second measure of number 2.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Well, let me.
I just see.
How about that?
There you go. Now I can see more of it. I don't see how many measures. Oh, there. Now I can see it all.
I'm going to get Denny to play solo idea number 2 for us. Okay, so everyone, Denny's going to play solo idea number 2.
Now is this same key?
Same. You're in alto sax key right now. This is.
All right. So I'm reading. Okay.
You're good.
So you want me just to play it?
Yeah. Could you play solo idea number 2 for everybody?
Okay. That will be. You got to bring it back, Steve.
Oh, sorry. You need to see it.
Yes. There you go. That helps. Hey, Dan, you need to talk to him. All right. Here we go. Okay. Okay. 4 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Hey, let's all do that again, and let's play along with Denny. Okay, so Denny, count them in again, and they're going to play with you.
Here we go. 4 beats, then 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Awesome, great stuff. Okay, so now let's look at solo idea 3. Solo idea 3. I'll play it for you all. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that one together. 1, 2, 3. Nice. I heard Denny picking up on that one too. And let's trade it back for Denny to play number 4.
1, 2.
Sorry.
There you go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Awesome. So here's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to do I'm going to put our play along back on of, I almost gave it away. I almost said it. Of Samba Otoño. And we have some guesses. We have some guesses in the chat. Someone guessed, let's see. Oh, who was it? I keep losing these things in the chat. Someone guessed Oyo Como Va. Good guess with the beat, but it's not Oyo Como Va. It's a trick because it's a song you usually hear in swing. Sometimes bossa. So here we go. Let's do a little back and forth, just like we did on Root Blues. I'm going to play the solo ideas that are on your sheet. You can either play the solo idea that's there as an echo to me, or you can make up your own using our major blues scale. So let's go ahead and try that. I'll play the phrases, and you at home, you can echo me or you can do your own phrase. Here we go. Let's get this up here so you can see it. I'm going to start with solo idea 1. All right. Let's take it back. This is still our melody happening here. Oh, this is the bridge. Oh no. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. My turn. Your turn. All right, here's my turn. Your turn. All right, my turn. And my turn. Cool. All right, nice. Great job. And folks, you can let me know in the chat, or my chat room helpers can maybe shoot me a text and let me know how the balance is with the background track, if it's too loud or too soft. So, Denny, what we're going to do next with everyone, and I'm going to show you so you can see the next page here. We talk about the next level of improvising for this, folks, is we can take our entire major scale, and you can use the full concert B flat major scale as your sort of your pool of notes. You've got that major scale. Denny played it just a few minutes ago when he was talking about his articulation. So we can use that full scale, but when we do that, we have to start thinking about how the chords change each measure. So the chords change every measure. You can see right here where it says guide tone line, we've got the names of the chords going by. And so I'll explain to you what this sheet says here. So we're going to pick out one of the chord tones from each measure. The chord tones are 1, 3, 5, 7. Right? 1, 3, 5, 7. And so what we've done is we've picked out a chord tone from each chord, and we've made them go smoothly from one chord to the next, and it's called a guide tone line. So what I want to do is we're going to play through the guide tone line 1. Actually, Danny, we might be able to sort of do this together because it's going to be not super in tempo. Or can you not see it?
Okay. That's just whenever I play and you're talking, it cuts out.
I won't move it. Can you see that?
No, I'm saying sound-wise, when I play, you cut out.
Oh, okay. It won't work then.
If you're playing and I'm playing at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't.
That's what I noticed.
We need to invent a new technology that can allow us to do this real time. We'd make millions.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Lately. Yeah. Sure.
So here's what we're going to do, folks. Let's play. I want you guys at home to play starting here. Start on the G. Start on the first chord, measure 56. If you're playing alto sax, it's a G. If you're playing a flute, it's a B flat, and so on and so forth. So I want you to play that note. Can everyone play that note? And here's the chord. Here's our chord. And you're playing this note. All right? And you're going to go to the next note. 1, 2, next note, go. Next note, 1, 2, ready, go. Next note, ready, go. Okay, so now we're in the fourth measure. So you see how this is going to go. We're going to go through this whole thing, and we're going to play each whole note with our backing track. You ready? Start at measure 56, the beginning. We're going to play our guide tone line with the backing track. Here we go. Wait for the click. Get my sound going. 2, I'll start that again. I'm going to let it go through the melody first. All right, here we go. So we're going to press play. We're going to hear the ending of the melody. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. And then we're going to start with our long tones at measure 56. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So, what we do now is, and I see some people in the chat who got the answer. Jason Nguyen got Autumn Leaves. Samalama got Autumn Leaves. Yes. Ulysses got it. And Teresa in the chat is saying the balance is good. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of you got the right answer. Christopher Balk got the right answer. Autumn Leaves. Nice job. Okay. So what we do now is we use our major scale, but we emphasize, or we make sure we kind of touch on each guide tone note as it changes, as we wrote it in guide tone line 1. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to start on a G. I'm going to start on the first guide tone, but I'm going to emphasize the each guide tone line, each guide tone in each measure. I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3. See, hear how that goes? I'm going to do a chorus with our background track, and you're going to hear how that works. And maybe, I don't know, Denny, if I, would you be, if I showed you what guide tone 2 looks like, would you be able to maybe do something for us without worrying about any background track? Or just, you can...
Well, I have a jammy background track, but it's swing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can mix it up. All right, everyone, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to play my improv using guide tone line 1. And you could try to play along with me if you want. You could play the guide tones at home. Here we go. Next line. That's the idea. Now we're going to go over to Denny, and I'm going to show Denny our other guide tone line, and it's not strictly a guide tone line because sometimes I use roots, or I didn't strictly stick to thirds and seventh, but there we go. Is that within your view, Den?
Yeah. Well,
oops, I can't. Oh, there we go. Is that within
there
your?
You go. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I got it.
Cool. You want to go solo or with your track?
I'm going to use this track. I'll play soft. You tell me, does it break up? If I play softer, does it help?
Okay. I think what you were doing is fine. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know.
So if you don't mind, Steve, let me have 2 passes at this, okay?
Yeah.
Because what I'd like to explain is when I teach this kind of thing, because we only have a little bit limited time, so we're moving right through a lot of information.
We are.
But sometimes when I'm teaching, I'm realizing, and I'm talking to you guys that are listening, I realized that sometimes if we do things in little bite-sized chunks, it's easier to control, and you understand it somewhat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this thing. I'm going to go through this form 2 times. And the first time I play it, I'm just going to play that scale that Dr. Selfridge showed you, this one here. And I'm just going to create on that scale. I'm not even going to be thinking about these guide tones. I'm not paying any attention to anything, because this scale this tune has that bracketable quality to it, meaning I can play that scale over everything.
Right.
And I'm just going to play on that scale. I can play it any way I want. And then when I go back the second time, I'll wave to you. So you'll know I'm starting. And then I'm going to use the scale, but I'm going to grab these guide tone notes. And because these guide tone notes are really important, it'll sound more like I'm making the chord changes. One isn't better or any worse than the other, but there's a little step. So if I was having a student play this, I would say spend all week just playing on the scale.
Oh, okay.
How many different things can you do with the scale? Just play the scale. Then a week when they come back, once they're real comfortable with the scale, I'll say, now every now and then hit one of these guide tones using your scale. And all of a sudden things will lock in better. But this is a good way for you to know. First time, just the scale. And second time, I'm going to pay attention to this stuff. Now, whether I play it fast or whether I play it slow or whatever I'm doing, I'm only going to try. It's kind of tricky to just limit yourself. As jazz players, we do all kinds of other things. But I'm going to try and make these 2 choruses be nothing but the scale. Because even when I use these guide tones, I'm still going to use the scale. But you're going to hear how it sounds different when I emphasize these notes.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So I'm going to go like this when I start it again.
I'll have to give him the signal.
Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
Second chorus. Yeah.
See, so what happens is you can hear me sort of following the chords a little better. But there's a lot of great players that sometimes just use that scale and just don't worry about the changes. So just know that as jazz players, these are all options. The goal isn't to play one way and don't play like another way. The goal is to get comfortable with all these different devices. And then when you're playing, you try and say something. You try and make people feel something, and you have fun with it. So there isn't anybody who solos who only uses one technique. We all kind of slip and slide into each other. And the way I played right there was really structured, so you can hear it, because we're teaching it to you. But when we get up and we play, we're visiting and using all these different devices. That's why we practice a lot of different things, because when we solo, we use a lot of different things. So there.
Wow. That's fantastic. You just
don't forget cork grease.
Cork grease. So I want to involve some of our shout outs and people who are watching, and just kind of get some we're going to do some quick fire questions and get some shout outs in. So we have Christopher Balk, Denny, has chimed in and says, your Maynard stories are awesome. Love listening to the stories about the boss.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it, Chris. Those are special. Those are check out Amateurs if you haven't checked out that, because if you like the stories, there are a couple of them that are really, some of them are funny, some of them are kind of poignant, some are sad, but they're all interesting, and they're all pretty much true. Maynard was a big storyteller.
Oh yeah,
he loved to tell stories, and he could tell a story 5 times. It'll be different each time, so nobody knows what the heck the truth is, but nobody cares because he was just fun to be with.
We have Bexad, who's one of our loyal viewers. Do you have any? I'll answer this one. Do you have any suggestions for not squeaking while playing from low to high notes? So Bexad, what I always say to this type of question is practice your embouchure. Usually, when squeaking from low to high notes, it's because you're squeezing too much with your up and down pressure. You should do more of an O shape embouchure, okay, and work on your consistency from low to high. Swanee is asking, would it be possible to have piano parts for our jazz piano players? Yeah, Swanee, I will work on that. I'll get you some piano parts.
That's good.
I got to work on my arranging, Denny. Let's see. Oh, we got our autumn leaves answers coming in here. I want to give a shout out to Terry Moraca, an instrumental music teacher, grade 4-5, Maryland. She says thanks, or he or she says thanks. My kids love you. I think they mean me, Denny, not you, but you never know. Maybe they love you. I think they love both of us. Swanee is a band teacher from Saskatchewan, Canada. Bexad.
Whoa.
Yeah. Bexad
that's out there. That's far.
Yeah, Bexad is
have some good coverage.
Yeah. Let's see. Guys, why don't we'll do some more shout outs and let us know what part of the world you're watching from. We'll get some more shout outs there. Bexad is in Ontario. Jason Nguyen, how do you do vibrato without sounding like you're quivering? Well, I think the same answer what Denny was talking about before. Get out the old metronome. Start working on your vibrato at a slow, controlled speed, and you want to get control over it, because if it starts to sound like a nervous quiver, if you don't have control over it and you're doing too fast, or you don't have the right control over it, so slow it down. I think of wah-wah. Do you guys have wah-wahs in wherever you are, Jason? We have wah-wah stores out here, and I think wah-wah for vibrato. Wah, 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 and you just get that nice, even vibrato sound. They have great hoagies.
And you when you put the click on, you tell yourself how many wahs you're going to have, or undulations, my teacher taught me. So that's the beat. You're going to have 2 undulations, like wah, 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 then go 3. Wah, 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 4. Wah, 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 wah. That's how I was taught, different tempos. And my teacher was having me do 5 and 6 and 7. And once you get control over the metronome, then you can put it anywhere you want.
Yeah. Jason Nguyen is in New York, and Noah is in Michigan, and Simon is in Canada. Canada representing here.
Yeah.
Natalia Bradley is from, I wanted to give Natalia a shout out. I lost it. Boyertown. Natalia, are you in Boyertown? Did I remember that correctly? And Natalia loves wah-wah. Yes. Roger Hummel.
Wah-wah.
Roger Hummel is watching from a student at Innerborough High School, my alma mater, Den. Yeah. And Mr. Irick is watching from Jenkintown. Thank you. Rico is watching from the north of the UK, United Kingdom. I know Mike Hamilton is here from Scotland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to go to Scotland. Mike, invite me up.
Yeah, Mike, get Danny to be a guest artist somewhere in your town, and he'll be there in a heartbeat. So, folks, what I want to do is we're gonna finish up. I want to encourage you to check out. Make sure you know where all of our materials are here on the website. Practice the new song, Samba Otoño. Remember, you can practice it at I know some people were saying that this was a tricky one for them. You can practice it at an easier level with just the major blues scale. You can practice it at a more advanced level with the full major scale, and even more advanced working on your guide tones. So play along tracks here. We got all of our fun other songs we've been working on, and we have this little bit on my website about listening to jazz. And I recommend you check that out. There's a great website post that lists 10 essential jazz albums. Danny, let me just show you this real quick. You can see it probably because I just...
Yeah, I can see it.
So there's a million lists you could look up of recommended jazz albums. This is one from Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra. Some great albums. Blue Train is one of my first inspirations. John Coltrane. Brubeck. Take 5. Oh, Blue Train was the cover image. There's Blue Train again. Sidewinder, Lee Morgan. Denny, do you have an album that was like your jazz sort of light bulb moment?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them because they light up different bulbs.
Yeah.
And but I remember when I first heard Tenor Madness, the original where Coltrane and Sonny Rollins play together. And I used to, actually, one of the things I would do is I would play a record, and I had a clarinet case that had a plastic cover, and it had drumsticks, and I used to bang on it with the drumsticks.
Yeah.
And it made a real deep, dark, low thud. And I used to listen to recordings and just listen to bang, 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 pretend I was a drummer, never realizing that was going to help my time.
Ah.
Because time is a physical thing. You kind of don't really learn it. Well, you can learn it from metronome, but if you play along to a big band, or like what drummers do, every drummer plays along the music. But a lot of times we don't. We play scales and things like that. So, because if you know time as something physical, then when you play it on your horn, you can lock into it better. And I have a drum set in my office. And if I have a student that has a time problem, I just sit him on the drum set. I'll give him headphones and I put Count Basie on. And I said, just hit the cymbal in time. I'll come back in a half an hour. Right? And I come back in a half an hour and I say, get up and play. They get their horn and we play something that's the same tempo, and immediately their time's better.
Wow.
Because time gets downloaded as a physical motion, and it's easier for them to recall it. Otherwise, they're playing theory, hoping that it locks up to this like invisible thing. So I was doing that, and when Sonny Rollins came in on that solo, I remember I stopped and I heard, because he did this little lick that's
yeah. Yeah.
And as soon as I heard it, I was like, what is that? And for some reason, I thought it was Coltrane. I didn't even know who it was because I'm not reading the album jackets. So for about a year, I thought it was Coltrane. Then I found out it was really Sonny Rollins. And that happened. And then everything started to happen. Count Basie was a big, recordings for Count Basie was a big thing. Johnny Griffin was a big thing. A lot of Sonny Rollins, a lot of Dexter Gordon. Then I saw these guys live, and that was a whole other. Yeah, so there's a lot of them. Those are all great. That Louis Armstrong,
yeah,
they did a lot together.
Art Blakey.
Yeah. No, there's just so many of them, and but to me, it was always fun. It was never an assignment. It was never work.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to work to get good at it, but it was always something I couldn't wait to do. It was fun.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the perfect way to wrap up, everybody. It is time to go. Thank you for being here, our loyal viewers. I love the crowd, particularly on our jazz live streams, because you guys are really engaged and you're into what we're doing. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you're playing along at home. Hopefully you're learning. Just want to remind you that Sunday, of course, we're going to be off. It's Easter Sunday, and we're going to take the day off from our normal live stream. I'll be back Monday with Beginner Band live stream. So hopefully see some of you there, although probably don't have too many beginners on the stream now, but always good to see familiar faces. So until then, we want to say thank you. Make sure you say thank you in the chat to Joe and Terry and Dennis, who has been helping us out in the chat. And we're going to say thank you to Danny de Blasio.
Thank you, guys.
You the man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And remember, cork grease.
Cork grease. It's so important. So important.
All right, guys. Until Monday or next time, I'll see you. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend and happy Easter. Everyone who's celebrating, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.